Good day, class. For this meeting, we will tackle the entire endocrinology. So we will try to finish everything about endocrinology today. Let's start. Now, endocrinology class would refer to the study of your endocrine system if naalala nyo pa in your anatomy physiology. When we talk about the endocrine system, ang unang pumapasok sa isip natin dito is the word hormones. So it involves the diseases of the endocrine system and the secretions known as your hormones class. Now, hormones class have different functions, and one of those is the regulation of the cells and organs in the life of individuals to maintain homeostasis. When you say homeostasis, this refers to balance, meaning merong balance, there is balance in your body, and this is being regulated class by the hormones. Now, the endocrine system is composed of a different series of glands that produces the hormones and has variety of functions. Now, itong mga functions na to can include respiration. So, imagine that class. Hormones would control yung pagkinga nyo. Metabolism, reproduction, sensory perception, movement, sexual development, and even growth. So, ganun siya ka-importante sa body natin. Now, in the right side, you would see the different organs from the pineal gland, the pituitary, the thymus, the pancreas, and even up to the testicles for the male. For the female, there's the ovary and the placenta. So, we will tackle most of them. Now let's start with the overview of the different hormone producing glands class. The first one is the hypothalamus. So hypothalamus class is very important. This is found in your brain and is responsible for maintaining body temperature, controlling hunger, moods, and the release of hormones from other glands. And would also control the thirst, sleep, and even sex drive. The second organ or the second gland is the pituitary class. Now, the pituitary is also known as your master control gland. This would control other glands and makes the hormones that trigger growth. Take note of that. Then parathyroid would control the amount of calcium in the body. Pancreas would produce insulin class. If you still remember, di ba, ang insulin nyo is produced by the beta cells of the islets of Langerhans of your pancreas. They control blood sugar levels. Then the thyroid is the one associated with calorie burning and heart rate. Kaya nga if you are suffering from hypothyroidism, one of the effect of this is that you tend to become obese or you have a slow metabolism. Matabain ka, madali kang tumaba. And then we also have the adrenal glands, which produces the hormones that would control sex drive and cortisol, the so-called stress hormone. Then we have the pineal gland, which would produce melatonin class, which is very important in sleep. Ovaries, only in women, the ovaries would secrete the hormone estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone. These are the female sex hormones. Then testis is only in men. The testis would produce the male sex hormone, testosterone plus, and would produce sperm. So take note of that. Itong tatlong to, these are the female sex hormones, estrogen, testosterone, progesterone. Pag lalaki class, it's only your testosterone. Now, let's classify your hormones class based on structure. So, hormones class would have different structures. The first type is peptide hormones. They make up the majority of hormones class. Releasing factors are peptides. So, the hormones are usually water soluble. So, kapag peptide hormones siya, water soluble siya, and they do not require transport proteins to move through the blood. They are synthesized and stored within the cell and have a short half-life of 5 to 60 minutes in the circulation. So, kailangan nilang may use up agad class because they have a very short half-life, 5 to 60 minutes lang. The second type is your steroid hormones. So pag steroid hormones class, they are usually associated with cholesterol or lipids. So synthesize sila class from cholesterol as the basic molecule. They are not water soluble. 'Di ba pag cholesterol, pag mga lipids, hindi sila namimix sa water class. They are insoluble in water and they require a transport protein to travel the blood. Now they are synthesized in the adrenal gland, gonads or placenta and have a long half-life, 60 to 100 minutes in the circulation. So remember the difference between peptide and steroid hormones. The third one is your amines or the amino acid derivatives class. They have properties similar to those of both steroid and peptide hormones. Then we have your fatty acid derivatives, which would include prostaglandin. So those are the four types of hormone based on structure. Now let's talk about the different transport proteins class. So yung mga peptide hormones nyo, uh, yung mga steroidal hormones nyo, they would require transport proteins class. So for your steroid and thyroid hormones, ang example ng transport protein nila is albumin. And even there's also your sex by hormone binding protein or cortisol binding globulin. So those are some examples class of transport proteins for steroid and thyroid hormone. Albumin, sex hormone binding protein, and cortisol binding globulin. Then ng amines yun naman class are transported by serum proteins and your TBG, TBG or your thyroxine binding globulin. Now, transport protein level can affect hormone action. Relative amounts of bound and free hormone would determine the degree of stimulus provided by the hormone. Only the free or the unbound fraction of a hormone would exit activity. So any situation that affects the transport protein level or degree of binding has an impact on the concentration of the free hormone. Para maintindihan nyo itong statement na to class, ang lagi nyo tatandaan is that yung free type, yung free hormones nyo has the greatest activity. Now, ang mayayari dyan, if there is an increased transport proteins, this can affect, di ba nga kasi yung transport protein nyo, they would transport hormones. Now, kapag sobrang dami, if there's too much transport proteins, what happens class is that it would cause an increase uh, binding, increase binded hormone. And kapag increase ang binded hormone nyo, maraming bound dun sa transport protein, it would cause a decrease free hormones. O onti yung mga free hormones mo. And pag onti yung free hormones mo, di-decrease ngayon yung activity. And that can affect our body. The measurement of the transport concentration is sometimes an integral part of the hormone assay. Kaya minsan class, yung ibang test katulad sa thyroid, for the thyroid, ang isa sa mga dinitest nila is yung transport protein. Specifically yung TBG or yung thyroxine binding globulin. So pakitandaan to ha. This is the explanation class why if there is too much transport proteins, it would lead to increased binded hormone or bound hormone, leading to decreased free hormones, decreased activity. Now let's go to the two organs that are important class, yung hypothalamus and your pituitary. Now, they are very integral, and the term pituitary class is derived from the Latin and Greek word meaning to spit mucus, reflecting the primitive notion of the pituitary. Now, Your pituitary class is divided into two parts: the anterior lobe or the anterior pituitary gland, also known as your adenohypophysis, and the posterior thyroid gland or the posterior or also known as the neurohypophysis. These are all located, this is located at the base of the skull class. So pakitandaan na dalawang parts yan. Anterior pituitary gland, posterior pituitary gland. Now, the regulation and production of and secretion of hormones is explained class by a so-called feedback loop. Now, yung feedback loop class, ang purpose nito is that it controls the creation of hormones. So, for you to understand this, ito bigyan ko kayo ng example dito sa right side. An example of this is where in your hypothalamus class, one of the hormone TRH. TRH would stand for thyrotropin releasing hormone. Now, ang mga hormones nyo class, pakitandaan, have a hormones always have a target organ, or cell or tissue. So, meron siyang tina-target or meron siyang pinupuntahan. So, hypothalamus class would release thyrotropin-releasing hormone. And si thyrotropin-releasing hormone nyo, ang target organ niya or target gland niya is si pituitary. Now, si pituitary class, kapag na-target na niya or nakarating na si TRH sa pituitary, it would now cause the creation of your TSH class. TSH would refer to the thyroid stimulating hormone. TSH would now create, pituitary would now create the TSH or the thyroid stimulating hormone. Now, si TSH naman class, ang target organ niya or ang target niya is the thyroid. And pag ginawa niya, ang mangyayari niyan, si thyroid ngayon class, magre-release na siya ng T3 at T4. Okay? That's how you would create or cause the secretion of hormones. But remember, too much hormones is bad for our body. So ang ginagawa ng katawan natin is that it would now send signals to stop the creation of hormones. Paano to? So, balik tayo dito, class. Si thyroid nyo ngayon, pag naramdaman na niya na sobrang dami na or na-detect niya na that there is too much T3 and T4 in the body, it will now send a signal. A signal or a hormone, or it would now release a hormone known as your thyroxine. Si thyroxine class has targets. Ang target niya would be the hypothalamus and the pituitary. Ang purpose niya class is that it would stop creating more hormones. So, si thyroxine class, pag nakarating siya sa hypothalamus, ipapastop niya yung TRH. Pag si thyroxine naman nakapunta sa pituitary, ipapastop niya yung pag-create ng TSH. So, yan yung tinatawag nilang feedback loop. It controls the creation, and the cessation of the production of hormones. So, para mas niyan, ito yung ina-explain ko na feedback loop. Let's start with the first one, the positive feedback loop. The positive feedback loop class would occur when a structure would secrete a hormone in response to a stimulating hormone released from the pituitary gland. The release hormone induces more stimulating hormone to be released from the pituitary gland. So, yan yung sinasabi ko kanina, di ba? From the hypothalamus, it would now create your TRH. Pupunta siya sa pituitary. Pag napunta na siya sa pituitary class, mag-create ngayon siya ng TSH. Si TSH niya pupunta ngayon sa niya ngayon pupunta siya sa thyroid. And thyroid would create more T3 and T4. So yun yung positive feedback. Basically, ang purpose ng positive feedback, a hormone causes creation of more hormones. Kapag naman negative feedback class occurs when the stimulating hormone induces production of a hormone, elevated levels of which turn off pituitary release of the stimulating hormone. So example nito class is that high levels of thyroid hormone stop the release of TRH from the hypothalamus and TSH from the pituitary gland, which in turn halts the production of the thyroid hormone. So para mas maintindihan nyo, kapag yung body nga nakadetect siya ng too much T3, too much T4, thyroid gland would magre-release siya ng thyroxine. Si thyroxine nyo ngayon class would act on the hypothalamus to stop TRH. Papastop niya yung TRH and the pituitary to stop TSH. So, opposite naman ng negative feedback class. Hormone causes the cessation of hormones. So, I hope that was clear. Now, let's go to the organs na class. Let's tackle the different hormones and their diseases. One of these is the anterior pituitary gland. The first hormone here is the prolactin. This is structurally related to your growth hormone and human placental lactogen. Considered as a stress hormone, it has vital functions in relationship to reproduction. Hypersecretion causes galactorrhea or lactation and is associated with infertility and amenorrhea in women and impotence in men. It is usually induced by a pituitary adenoma. Hyposecretion naman class leads to the lack of lactation in the postpartum woman. So si prolactin nyo class is considered a stress hormone. And very important siya class in lactation sa female and fertility. Usually kapag hypersecretion ng prolactin nyo, this is caused by pituitary adenoma. Pag sinabi mong pituitary adenoma class, merong tumor that iniipit niya o pinipress niya o tinutulak niya yung pituitary. And kapag tinutulak niya, it causes the creation of more prolactin. While naman pag sobrang decrease ng prolactin nyo, lack of lactation, so hindi nagpo-produce ng breast milk yung mga bagong panganak na babae. Then we have your growth hormone class. So from the word growth, very important siya sa paglaki. So important in growth, body composition, cell repair, and metabolism. Also boost muscle growth, strength, and exercise performance, which help you recover from injury and disease. Now, the effects of hypersecretion are age-dependent. In adults class, the resulting condition is called acromegaly. So kapag increase ang growth hormone mo, meron kang gigantism, and in some cases, meron kang acromegaly. Sa acromegaly class, malalaki yung mga distal parts, yung mga kamay nyo, yung mga arms nyo, yan. Malalaki sila. They become very long or they can be very big. Now, in children naman, the resulting condition is gigantism. So, sa adults, ang sakit is acromegaly kapag sobrang dami ng GH. Kapag sa bata, gigantism. Usually results from pituitary adenomas, secreting GH and compression of adjacent tissues of the pituitary gland. causing hyposecretion of other tropic hormones. Then kapag hyposecretion naman ng ng GH class, yung sakit na dwarfism, small stature but proportionally built. So remember that. Then other hormones produced by the anterior pituitary gland, yung LH or yung luteinizing hormone. So this is more of a sex hormone or a gonadotropic hormone. Ang role niya class is in controlling the function of ovaries in females and testes in males. While your FSH naman, follicle stimulating hormone, is essential for puberty development class and the function of women's and men's testes. In women class, ang purpose ng FSH nyo, it stimulates the growth of ovarian follicles before the release of an egg. It also increases estradiol production. Sa lalaki naman class, ang purpose ng FSH, nag-act siya sa Sertoli cells ng testis to create sperm via spermatogenesis. So, pakitandaan yun. Then we have your TSH class. Ito yung pinoproduce ng pituitary gland. Its role is to regulate the production of hormones by the thyroid gland. So si TSH nyo class, it controls T3, T4. Then we also have your ACTH. Kapag sobrang dami ng ACTH nyo, the disease is known as Cushing's disease, which a known characteristic is yung truncal obesity, yung mataba yung mid-portion nyo class. Mid-portion nyo yung mataba lang. Hyperglycemia, hypertension, and protein wasting. It is also caused by pituitary adenoma, adrenal hyperplasia, or excess production by a non-endocrine tumor. Kapag naman hyposecretion ng ACTH nyo, meron kayong weight loss, weakness, and gastrointestinal problem. Now, let's go to the posterior pituitary gland. The first hormone here, dalawa lang to class, yung ADH nyo or vasopressin lang. So, ADH, familiar kayo dito sa AUBF nyo or sa CM nyo. It's responsible for water reabsorption and maintenance of blood pressure by affecting renal tubules and the anterior. Ngayon, kapag sobrang dami, there is hypersecretion of ADH, it leads to a disease known as yung SIADH or yung syndrome of inappropriate ADH secretion. This disorder occurs in a wide variety of conditions including meningitis, head injury, TB, hypoadrenalism, hypothyroidism, and uh, cirrhosis. Now, SIADH is associated with low blood sodium or hyponatremia and hypertonic urine. Now, despite normal renal and adrenal function, symptoms would include weakness, malaise, poor mental status, convulsion, and coma. It is typically caused by release of ADH from ectopic tumors. So, ang cause ng SID-ADH nyo class, usually tumors. So, na-notice nyo, di ba, karamihan ng sakit sa pituitary nyo, if it's hypersecretion, it's always related to mga tumors or mga cancer class or abnormal tissue growth. While hyposecretion of ADH is associated with your DI or diabetes insipidus, symptoms would include insatiable thirst, polydipsia, polyuria, and resulting from the destruction of the posterior pituitary gland or the hypothalamus. Then the last hormone, yung oxytocin, known disorders are associated with excess or deficient secretion of oxytocin. Now let's go to the thyroid gland class. So when it comes to the thyroid gland, this is a butterfly gland found in the lower anterior neck and is responsible in the production of your T3 and T4 and calcitonin. So it regulates body metabolism through neurologic development and responsible to many other functions commonly encountered by individuals, especially if they are living in the highlands. Calcitonin is secreted by the parafollicular cells and is responsible for calcium homeostasis. So dalawa sila class T3 tatlo rather. The thyroid hormones T3, T4 and yung calcitonin. Yun yung pinoproduce ng thyroid niya. Now, ang thyroid gland nyo located siya sa lower part of the neck. So ito siya. Para siyang butterfly class. Bilobe siya. Dalawang lobe yan. Left and right lobes. So hati siya sa dalawa. And ang cells niya is composed of what we call follicles. So they would contain two types of follicles class. Follicular cells would produce the hormone thyroxine or T4 and triiodothyronine T3. So pakitandaan niyo na, yung follicular cells pinoproduce niya yung T4 and T3. While the parafollicular cells produce calcitonin. Now, your thyroid hormones would require iodine for their synthesis. Kaya nga class, pag meron kang low levels of thyroid or hypothyroidism, usually ang binibigay is iodine. Now, iodine combines with the protein thyroglobulin to form the hormone precursors that in turn combine to form T3 and T4. The hormones are either stored within the follicle or released into the bloodstream. In the blood, most T4 eventually gives up an iodine molecule and forms T3. There is much more circulating T3 than T4 class. Approximately 98% of circulating T3 and T4 is bound to protein, including yung TBG, TBA or thyroxine binding albumin. Some hormones would remain unbound or free, and this is the physiologically active fraction. Pakitandaan yung klasa, yung physiologically active function nyo are the free hormones known as yung free T3 and free T4. Yan yung mga unbound. Hindi sila naka-attach sa TBG, sa TBA. Now, the regulation of T3 and T4 occurs in the following manner. Thyroid-releasing hormone is released by the brain and stimulates the release of TSH or your thyrotropin from the pituitary gland. TSH stimulates iodine uptake by the thyroid gland and also causes the release of T3 and T4 from the thyroid gland. High serum levels of pre-T3 and T4 shut off the release of TSH. So ito yung sinasabi kong negative feedback kanina. Kapag nakadetect sila ng if the body detects too much T3, T4, it stops the creation of TSH and TRH. Pero kapag naramdaman ng body mo na low levels na sila, it would cause the creation of more TSH. Now, there are different types of thyroidism class or diseases. One of those is a hypothyroidism. Kapag hypothyroidism class, thyroid levels are insufficient. This disorder would usually affect women 4 times more than men. So, mas common sila sa babae between the ages of 30 and 60. Hypothyroidism is usually referred to as either as primary, secondary, or tertiary, depending on the dysfunction. So the symptoms of hypothyroidism class would include a enlarged thyroid gland known as your goiter, fatigue, impairment of mental processes, and loss of appetite, mycedema or the loss of hair, swelling of the hands and face, coarse skin occurs as the disease progresses. Now, the cause of hypothyroidism class would relate to the area of tissue damage. So, pwedeng ang affected dito is yung hypothalamus, pwedeng yung pituitary. Now, they could also be caused class by lack of dietary iodine. So, yung iba kaya nireresetahan lang ng iodine glass kasi reversible naman. Now, let's talk about the types of hypothyroidism. The first one is primary hypothyroidism. This involves the inadequate secretion of thyroid hormones caused by a damaged or surgically removed thyroid organ. So wala na kayong in primary hyperthyroidism class, the thyroid organ or the thyroid is absent or not functioning. Walang functioning na na thyroid organ. Ang makikita mong lab result dito is you would see decrease, pakitandaan to class, decrease T3, T4, FT4I, T3 uptick, FT4I, and T3 uptick. Tapos increase ang TSH. So, ang mataas lang sa primary hypothyroidism nyo is TSH. Lahat mababa. For you to understand this, di ba sa primary hypothyroidism, as mentioned, wala kang thyroid organ. So, kapag si pituitary mo, inak on TRH, di ba magpuproduce yan ng TSH. Ngayon, si TSH class supposedly, pupunta yan sa thyroid mo. But since there is no thyroid, walang thyroid class, walang magpuproduce ng T3, walang magpuproduce ng T4. Ngayon, si pituitary mo, nararamdaman pa rin na sobrang baba or your body detects that there is still low amounts of TSH. So, ang gagawin niyang pituitary mo, it would now continuously produce TSH. Kaya mataas ang TSH na class. Kasi hindi naman na nako-compensate yung T3, T4 kasi nga wala kang thyroid. So continuously yung pag-produce ng TSH mo that your T3 and T4 are decreased kasi you have no thyroid or you have no functioning thyroid. The second hypothyroidism naman includes the decreased production of TSH caused by a pituitary. So kung sa primary hypothyroidism, ang problema is ang thyroid. Sa secondary naman class, ang may problema is the pituitary. This leads to low levels of thyroid hormone. Lab results would indicate that thyroid levels are decreased. So lahat decreased class. Bakit? Sa secondary naman, ang may problema this time is si pituitary. Since si pituitary nyo, wala siya, malamang walang TSH or decrease ang TSH nyo. And kapag decrease ang TSH mo, kahit naman may thyroid ka, mababa pa rin yung T3 at T4 nyo. So, yun yung tandaan niya about secondary. Lahat mababa class. Sa tertiary naman class, this is related to the hypothalamus. So, again, sa primary, ang may problema, the problem is with the thyroid. Sa secondary, si pituitary. Sa tertiary is si hypothalamus class. And ang problem naman sa hypothalamus is that there would be a lack of thyrotropin releasing hormone. In the laboratory of evaluation sa tertiary is that there would be increased TSH followed by decreased levels of T3 and T4. Now, let's go to another type, yung mga autoimmune disorders class related to the thyroid organ. Yung chronic immune thyroiditis. Si chronic immune thyroiditis yung class is also known as the Hashimoto's disease. Sa immunosero nyo, ito yung tinatawag nating autoimmune hypothyroidism. So, autoimmune siya, meaning your own body attacks your own thyroid. This is caused by a genetic abnormality in the immune system and involves massive infiltration of the thyroid gland by lymphocytes. The symptoms match those of hypothyroidism. Then we also have your hyperthyroidism. This is caused by excessive thyroid hormone in the circulation. This causes cells to become overactive. The disorder is sometimes referred to as thyrotoxicosis. So kapag hyperthyroidism class, you have too much T3, T4, TSH. The cause of this would include pituitary tumors that can cause excessive TSH secretion, thyroid carcinoma, or toxic multinodular goiter. Then we also have your Graves' disease. Si Graves' disease naman class, autoimmune disorder din to. This is known as your uh, autoimmune hyperthyroidism. So si Hashimoto hypo, si Graves naman hyperthyroidism. So this would occur 6 times more frequently in women. And this disorders class antibodies or immunoglobulin stimulate the thyroid gland by binding to TSH receptor. So para maintindihan niyo itong for you to further understand Graves' disease class. So ito siya. So this is the production of autoantibodies against the TSH receptor. Antibodies induce or stimulate unregulated activation of thyroid hormones. The autoantibodies so produced against TSH receptors are called your long-acting thyroid stimulators or your LUTs, which are IgG in nature and can pass through the placental barrier, causing Graves' disease in neonates. Okay. Para mas maintindihan nyo, class, let's look at the normal control or normal production of your T3, T4. So, si pituitary gland nyo would release TSH. Diba? Magre-release siya ng TSH. And si TSH nyo now would go to the thyroid. So, pupunta siya, mag-a-attach siya sa so-called TSH receptor. Pag nag-attach siya sa TSH receptor, it would now cause the thyroid. Yung TSH receptor class, nandito yan sa thyroid cells nyo. Ha? So, these are the thyroid cells. The thyroid cells now class would now cause the creation of more T3 and T4. Ngayon, kapag sobrang dami na yung T3, T4, magsisend naman yan ng signal sa pituitary to stop the creation of more TSH. So, yun yung normal. Ulitin ko ha, in a normal homeostasis ng thyroid nyo, pituitary gland would cause the creation of TSH. Si TSH pupunta sa thyroid, mag-a-attach siya sa TSH receptor sa thyroid cells. Si thyroid cells ngayon, class, magkikreate siya ng more T3, T4. Pag sobrang dami ng T3, T4, magsisend na siya ng signal to stop the creation of TSH, stopping the creation of more T3, T4. Pero ang problema, kapag may Graves' disease ka, meron kang antibody against TSH receptor. So, ang ginagawa ng mga antibodies na to is that this antibodies class would attack or would attach to the TSH receptor. Kaya ang mangyayari kapag si TSH na produce, hindi ngayon siya, TSH cannot bind to the TSH receptor. Bakit? Because the antibodies are blocking or is already attached to the TSH receptor. So, ang mangyayari dyan, since continuously, so walang TSH na mangyayari, decrease pa din yung T3, T4 mo. T3, T4 mo. Or there would rather be too much T3, T4. Bakit? Kasi merong antibody na naka-attach doon sa receptor. Kapag naka-attach siya doon sa receptor class, it would continuously stimulate hormone synthesis. So, continuously siyang magpo-produce ng hormones. Kaya ang usually makikita mo kapag may Graves' disease ka, increase din ang TSH mo. Increase T3, increase T4, increase TSH. Ngayon, hindi mo siya ma-stop. The body is unable to stop because once it sends the negative feedback class, hindi naman naka-attach yung TSH doon. TSH is not the one continuously producing the T3 and T4. Instead, it is being produced by the autoantibody. So I hope that was clear. Now let's continue with the next one, yung uh, thyroiditis nyo. So thyroiditis is an inflammation of the thyroid gland caused by either bacterial or viral infection. Now, lab assays for thyroid function class. So we have your T3 recent uptake, analyzes the capacity of thyroid binding globulin to bind thyroid hormones. This is an indirect measurement of the number of free binding sites on the TBG. Free thyroxine index, or your FT4I, indirectly assesses the concentration of circulating free T4. It is calculated by multiplying the value of the total T4 by the percentage value of the T3 recent uptake. Now, thyroid antibody screen assays for the presence of thyroid stimulating antibodies, such as those in Graves' disease and Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Then we have your thyrotropin releasing hormone stimulation test, which measures pituitary TSH and is considered conclusive for hyperthyroidism, although it is not needed in most hyperthyroid patients. In patients with slightly elevated hormone levels, TRH is injected and blood samples are assayed for TSH. TSH levels rise rapidly in a normal person but will not rise in a hyperthyroid patient. Okay, now let's continue with the adrenal gland class. So the adrenal gland is a pyramid-like shaped gland located above the kidney. It is composed of distinct but conjoined glands, the adrenal cortex or the outer part, and the adrenal medulla or the inner part. So ito yung nakikita nyo yung ito. This is the adrenal gland class. And it's composed of an outer adrenal cortex and an inner adrenal medulla. Now, the outer region of the adrenal gland secretes the steroid hormone. So, this is the major site class of steroid hormone production. Makitandaan class ha? Yung outer region nyo ng adrenal cortex. Now, the basic structure of your cortical hormones class is your CPP or the cyclopentano perhydrophenanthrene ring. This is a 17 carbon skeleton derived form of cholesterol. So cholesterol is the parent cell of all steroid hormone. Only G cells convert cholesterol to pregnenolone. Now, ACTH would regulate the secretion of adrenal glucocorticoids and androgens, which is under the control of the hypothalamic corticotropin releasing hormone. So parang TRH lang to, class. Dito naman si hypothalamus would secrete the corticotropin releasing hormone. So ito na lang. When the body is suffering from stress, mag-create si hypothalamus ng CRH. CRH class would act on the pituitary, causing the creation of ACTH. Si ACTH naman class would target the adrenal gland, causing the creation of your cortisol. So para siyang sa TRH kanina, 'di ba, sa thyroid nyo. Dito naman, instead of TRH, CRH naman siya. Then instead of TSH, ACTH yung napoproduce. Now, the glucocorticosteroids class may tatlong major hormone. Glucocorticosteroids primarily in the form of hydrocortisone or cortisol are secreted from the zona fasciculata. Then we have your mineralocorticoids or your aldosterone. So kapag glucocorticosteroids class, yan yung cortisol. Kapag mineralocorticoids, aldosterone class. This controls sodium, potassium, ion exchange in the distal nephron and is secreted from the zona glomerulosa. Small amounts of reproductive steroids are produced, and some androgens, such as your testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone. Now, take a look at the three layers of the adrenal cortex class. You have the zona glomerulosa, which is the outermost part, zona fasciculata, the middlemost, and zona reticularis, the innermost. So most of the, as mentioned kanina, di ba, yung most of your steroidal hormones are produced at the outer layer. Now let's talk about the cortisol class. You see, cortisol, this is the principal glucocorticoid regulated by ACTH, bound to glycoprotein and transcortin. So itong dalawang to, these are the transport protein of your cortisol. Ang purpose ng cortisol class is stimulate gluconeogenesis in the liver, resulting in hyperglycemia. Kaya ang cortisol nyo has an anti-insulin effect. So, too much cortisol class, kapag sobrang dami ng cortisol nyo, it can lead to diabetes. The only adrenal hormone that inhibits the secretion of ACTH class when plasma cortisol level is elevated. Anti-inflammatory and immunosuppressive actions. Has a valuable therapeutic agent for RA, SLE, and multiple sclerosis. Now, ang cortisol nyo is also known as the body's natural alarm clock. How? Cortisol class basically stimulates most body cells to increase their energy production, which heightens the body's ability. Latter stages of sleep, these hormones would be released, causing the body to awaken. So, ang highest levels niya are usually 8 to 10 a.m. Low levels niya are usually 10 to 12 midnight. 10 p.m. to 12 midnight. Specimens collected usually 8 a.m. plus for urine and blood sample. Urine-free cortisol levels are sensitive indicators of adrenal hyperfunction. Endogenous corticolism, 24-hour urine collection. Now, when your cortisol class is degraded, pag ini-excrete siya ng body natin. When it is excreted via urine, it creates certain metabolites class. So, pag dinigrade siya ng liver, it's secreted into different forms. The first one is your 17-hydrocorticosteroids. This is usually used in the test Porter-Silber method. Ang positive result niya is a yellow color. The reagent is phenylhydrazine in sulfuric acid plus alcohol. Then we have your 17 ketogenic steroids tested via the Zimmermann reaction. Positive result niya is reddish purple color. The agent is meta-dinitrobenzene. Clinical disorders class, you have yung Cushing syndrome nyo. This is known as hypercortisolism. There is adenocortical hyperfunction, excessive production of cortisol and ACTH, decreased aldosterone and renin. It is caused by overuse of corticosteroids. Signs and symptoms nito class is obesity, but you have very thin extremities. So, ganito siya class itsura mo. Yan, ganyan. You have very thin extremities. Payat yung mga yung mga legs nyo, yung mga arms, and so on. Tapos obese ka. Usually characterized by a buffalo hump, hirsutism, hyperglycemia, hypercholesterolemia, low WBC, especially lymphocytes. So ito yung buffalo bump, ito yung hirsutism. Yan. Merong bump dito. Yung hirsutism kasi yung mabalahibo yung ano. Now screening test, we have your 24-hour urinary free cortisol characterized by a fourfold increase kapag meron kang problem. Overnight dexamethasone suppression test. Blood level is not suppressed. Midnight salivary cortisol test. High salivary cortisol. Kasi nga, di ba, dapat pag 10 p.m. to 12 midnight, dapat decrease ang cortisol. Confirmatory test class would include low-dose dexamethasone suppression test, midnight plasma cortisol, usually greater than 7.5 microgram per DL, serum cortisol. Corticotropin releasing hormone stimulation test. Patient preparation for midnight saliva cortisol test, avoid smoking. For midnight plasma cortisol would usually require hospital admission at least 48 hours. IV should be given before 10 p.m. Patient should be sleeping at blood collection. Then we have hypocortisolism. Primary hypocortisolism, this is usually caused by primary adrenal insufficiency. So may problema yung adrenal gland nyo, class. Decreased cortisol production, usually caused by 90% destruction of the adrenal cortex. Aldosterone deficiency, excess ACTH release. Characterized by Addison's disease class. Hypotension, hyponatremia, hyperkalemia, weight loss, hyperpigmentation. Screening tests, ACTH stimulation tests, low cortisol, aldosterone, and renin, high ACTH. Confirmatory test class is insulin tolerance test. Then we have your secondary hypocortisolism. This is characterized by secondary adrenal insufficiency. This is due to hypothalamic pituitary insufficiency with loss of ACTH. No problem with mineralocorticoids secretion, absence of hyperpigmentation. Screening test is that ACTH stimulation test. There would be a delayed response class, low cortisol and ACTH. Confirmatory is again insulin tolerance test. A more serious disorder class related to your hypocortisolism is yung Cushing's disease nyo. This is caused by pituitary tumor that secretes ACTH. Less common and develops due to abnormal tumor growth. While meron namang less serious yung Cushing syndrome, characterized by excessive levels of cortisol in the blood. This is more common. Develops most often from taking meds that increase cortisol. Then we also have your congenital adrenal hyperplasia or your CA, deficiency of enzymes 21 hydroxylase, 11 beta hydroxylase, 38 hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase or your isomerase. Enzymes necessary for synthesis of cortisol. This will result to decrease plasma cortisol and increase ACTH and androgen level. Diagnosis of hirsutism and virilization, measurement of serum testosterone and DAS. 24-hour urine-free cortisol test is not consistent with your CA. Definitive test dito class is yung 17-OHP measurement in amniotic fluid. Genotypic cells from chronic villus sampling is most preferred. Itong congenital kasi class, from the word congenital, these are usually common among fetuses. So ang sample nyo dito are usually amniotic fluid and you could get samples from the baby. Now, there are types of CAH class, congenital adrenal hyperplasia. We have your 21 hydroxylase deficiency, 11 beta hydroxylase deficiency, 38 hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase isomerase deficiency, and your 17 hydroxylase deficiency.